You guys are here today for one reason. You want to know why your audience is not buying from your YouTube channel. And really, what we're going to do is we're going to start with just a little bit of training that's going to show you the foundations. Then I'm going to take what I've taught you and I'm going to apply it to 3 viewers of this channel. We're going to go through their funnel and I'm going to show you exactly why they're not getting the results they want. And then after that, we'll take some questions at the end. Okay? All right, so let's just start by looking at why your audience isn't buying and kind of the 3 top reasons. The first is they don't trust you yet. The second is they don't value what you sell yet. And the third is you just don't have enough viewers yet. Weirdly, everyone seems to blame option 3 as the reason they're not actually generating buyers. And it's in many cases not the reason they're not growing their business. So let's just go a little bit deeper on these first 2 because they are, without doubt, the most important way you're going to turn viewers into buyers. So let's start with how trust is built, and more importantly, how trust is not built. So trust is not built by getting loads of views. You can game the system. You can make clickbait. You can be over sensational. You can be controversial. So you can game the system, and getting lots of views isn't going to fix your business problems, because a viewer is not the same as someone who wants to buy. And the other thing is, trust is not built by posting consistently, because you need all of the foundations in place to build trust and convert before posting consistently can actually get you results. A lot of people just try and post more and more in the hope that it's going to fix their problems, and it just doesn't work like that. So how do you build trust? Well, this is really important. Well, firstly, you need to get your viewers' results in your content. If you don't do that, you won't get sales from people. So let me explain what that means. I get an email from a guy called Joe a couple of days ago, and he was like, Ed, I watched your video about how to launch a low-ticket product on YouTube, and I launched a low-ticket product and I made $20,000. So what happened was, he then went to my product and bought it. It built a huge amount of trust. I even made him money, so I guess he gave me 10% as a nice cut to say thank you, perhaps. So that's one way you need to think of this. You have to get your viewers a result. The next thing you need to think about is you have to change the way that your viewers think. So a good video is where someone comes into your content believing that the solution to their problem is one thing and ending that video realizing what the real solution is. If you can change the way that people think, then you will build a huge amount of trust and you can generate sales. The next thing is diagnosing their problem. So think about when you have a problem. It's frustrating, right? You don't know why you have the problem, and it can live in your head rent-free. So if you can help diagnose someone's problem, it will give them clarity. That builds a huge amount of trust, and that is what is going to enable you to produce content that will generate sales. And finally, the next way you build trust on YouTube is removing pain and anxiety. Same sort of thing. You just have to try and help them solve a problem. So if you can do one at least of those things in every piece of content you make, you're going to build trust. It's going to help you generate sales. Really, the best way to think of it is, if your content doesn't change a viewer, they won't buy. So that's the kind of foundational thing that you need to master when it comes to content creation. Now let's just have a look at how trust is built in the offer, because when people watch your videos, they then need to land on a sales page, which is then going to continue to build trust and convert them. And it is not built with funky graphic design. It is not built with really complex systems. You build trust on a sales page by showing lots of proof that you can get a result, lots of results, and with very strong copy. So strong copy means basically using the language that will appeal to your potential buyers the most. And that's something that a lot of people aren't very good at, and actually means they repel their viewers and stop them becoming buyers. On top of that, with your offer, the reason that you won't turn your existing audience into buyers is because they land on it and they think they don't need it, but also they don't value it enough. And they look at it and go, that feels expensive, because the price outweighs the value that you're going to give them. So these are kind of all of the foundational issues. What you need to do is look at your own channel, look at your own business and funnel, and you have to establish which of the problems that I just laid out do you actually have. So how do you do that? Well, now I'm going to give you a system. And we're going to then use this system on some of the viewers of this channel, and I'm going to show you exactly what's wrong with their funnel and how to fix it. So pay attention to this bit. It is going to get a little bit deep and listy, but what you're going to end up with is, in a few minutes, a chart you can look at, and it's going to tell you exactly why you're not generating sales. So the first thing you need to do, and this is really, really, really important, is every month you should be looking at how many views am I getting on my YouTube channel. You then also need to look at how much traffic do I get to my sales page. SP represents sales page on this slide, just in case you didn't know what that meant. And then the third thing you need to look at is how many of the people who do arrive on that page actually convert and become customers. If you don't know these numbers, it's the biggest mistake. It is holding you back more than anything else. People are like, Ed, can you tell me what's wrong? No, I can't. If you show me these numbers that I'm about to show you, I can diagnose it in seconds, and then we can come up with a plan to fix it. So you need to be tracking this really, really, really meticulously almost every month. All right, so how do you read your own funnel? So, well, firstly, it's just views. We just need to work out, are people discovering you? Are enough people discovering you? And do you have a views problem or not? Then we need to work out, are people clicking from the channel to your sales page? And then we need to work out, are those people converting to customers? All right, now, this is the bit that's going to go a bit deep. Try and pay attention to this. I'm going to run through 9 possible scenarios now, and I'm going to give you the diagnosis and the solution to them. So whilst you're watching this, you need to pay attention and ask, is this me? So you can see at the top of this slide, it says low views, strong traffic, strong sales. What this is a channel who has low views on their channel, and then they're noticing a lot of people are going from the channel to their sales page, and then they're getting a lot of sales. So this might be you. You might be sitting there nodding right now going, that sounds like me. If that is happening to you, what this data is telling us is the YouTube content you're making is doing a great job of building trust, because people don't click on the link below your video unless they trust you. And also people won't buy from your offer unless they value it and trust you. So in this case, what actually is your problem is you need more traffic to enter into your funnel. And the number one cause of low traffic is people are packaging and they're not making the right thumbnails and titles. So if that sounds like you, the thing you should focus on over the next 30 days is coming up with better topics, titles, and thumbnails, and you'll just start generating more sales. Now, the next type of person we have here, they have low views, then they have a lot of people from those views, a high percentage of them going to their sales page, but then they have low sales. So what that is telling us when we see a situation like that is the viewers are trusting you, the low amount of viewers you have are trusting you enough to click, but the offer, when they land on it, it doesn't feel valuable enough to buy. So the solution in this situation is, what you should focus on is your sales page, your copy, your pricing, adding more proof, adding more testimonials. And then once that's fixed, you should start to see the amount of views you are getting converting more. Then we have low views, low traffic, strong sales. So in a case like this, if you're sitting there going, well, I'm getting really good sales, I feel like I just need more views, that might actually be the case. It could be the case that you're in a very small niche, and it could be the case that the few people who reach your offer are a very strong fit. So if that sounds like you, what you should again be focusing on is making better, more clickable thumbnails and titles and content that builds trust more to get more people clicking. But at the same time, you don't want to broaden too much. Now, someone's just asked a very good question. What percentage or number is low or high? And I'll show you how to diagnose that in a minute. So just hold on for as long as you can. But in answer to that question, as short as I can, it depends on the niche. But I'll show you how to work that in a second. So the next type of person we have here, they have low views, they have low traffic, and they have low sales. So if you're looking there going, everything sucks, which is most people, if I'm honest, it's often hard to know where to start. But really, it means the right people aren't discovering you. The people who are discovering you aren't clicking on your link, and then the fewer aren't interested in your offer. That is a foundational issue. We're going to look at how to kind of solve in a minute. But what you need to focus on the most there is actually, who is your viewer? What do they really care about? What do they want? And what do they want to pay to solve? Now, after that, we start getting into a more unusual situation. These are people who have high views. So if you are getting a lot of views on your channel, and this is common, and you were seeing a lot of people click on your links, and then you were seeing a lot of people buy, congratulations, you've nailed it. You just keep repeating what's working. You don't really need to change anything at all just because you're bored. That is the promised land. Just continue doing exactly what you're doing. Now, if you have a lot of views and you have a lot of traffic to your sales page, but you are not getting many sales, what you are going to find is your content's too broad. You are attracting far too many people who are the wrong fit for your offer. And this is a position a lot of people get into because they chase views, not buyers. It also means that the offer itself is just not appealing to people. But if you're getting a lot of views, it's often a case that it's not your sales page, it's not your offer causing the problem, it's actually your channel driving the wrong people. So the solution here is you need to actually, in some cases, niche down and start thinking about what content can you make that's more in line with your offer. After that, we have high views with low traffic to your sales page and strong sales. If you're getting a lot of views and then you're looking and going, no one's coming from my channel to my sales page, but you are getting high sales, it's really simple. You just need to start producing content that coaches. You need to start mentioning your offer more. You need to create more of a bridge between your channel and your offer. And you just need to make sure you're linking below your videos. All right, we're nearly there on this bit. Then we have high views, low traffic, low sales. So if you've got a lot of views and hardly anyone's clicking and no one's buying, you have gone too broad, you're not talking about your offer enough, you're not solving enough problems, you're probably making more clickbaity content than stuff that is actually designed for serious buyers. So you need to start focusing on content that naturally leads people into your offer. So look, I said that bit was going to be a bit dull, but you can see this chart on screen right now. Hopefully you saw yourself in one of those. What you do is you look and go, are my views high or low? Are my traffic low or strong? Is my sales strong or low? And it will give you the explanation. You can go back through those slides I've just given you and you can read the full diagnosis and solution. But now I'm going to show you how to use this to fix some problems on a viewer of this channel. So let's move on to Zane. So Zane is a channel that has, well, he talks about, you can read the full diagnosis and solution quickly. But now I'm going to show you how. Zane is a Google business, or Google My Business, you know Google Maps, right? So he makes content to help people, I guess, so Zane on Google Maps is a channel that has, so he applied to this, and these are the two problems he said he had. Firstly, niching down has reduced his traffic. He's seen a drop in views, and as a result, he's not seeing many strong sales. And then secondly, he's saying the audience is still mostly agencies, not small businesses wanting consultations. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check Zane's views to work out if he has high or low views. We're going to look at his sales page traffic to see if he has high or low sales page traffic, and we're going to check his conversions, and then we're going to come up with a plan to fix it. So for anyone who's wondering what is high views and what is low views, this is how you work it out. So if we go to Zane's channel, right here, Zane's views to work out if he has high or low views. We're going to look at his sales. The first thing we need to do to establish if you have low views or high views is examine the niche. And then we're going to come up with a plan to fix it. So for anyone Zane's niche is ranking on Google, I'm just going to type in rank number 1 on Google Maps here. And I'm going to get a rough idea as to the amount of views Zane's views to work out if he has high or low views. And as we can see, the first thing we need to do to establish if you have low views or high views is examine the niche. 144,000. So for anyone Zane's niche is ranked on Google, I'm just going to type in rank number 1 on Google Maps here. We can start to get a general idea as to the amount of Zane's views. And with that in mind, Zane's getting a few hundred views per video, so to me, Zane has low views. So that's how you diagnose it. You look at your niche to establish what is the kind of ceiling and then where you fall in. So we know that Zane has low views, and we know that that is a problem within his niche. Now what we need to do is look at his sales page traffic. So he's been kind enough to give me his sales page information here. So this is how you diagnose it. Now this is really important. What he's done here is really, really, really important. Every month you can see, look, he's writing how much sales traffic appears and then how many people bought based on that traffic in the next column, in column D. And then in column E, you can see that it says the percentage of conversions, right? So what we want to look at is how many people are visiting the page, how many people are going from YouTube to that page. And as we can see here, he's getting some months like 900, but his average is like 300-400, okay? So we have to decide, is that high or low? And the way you usually do that is you look at the amount of views your channel got that month, and then the percentage of people who clicked through. And if it's under 1%, it's low. So I think Zane is considered low in this case. And then what we want to look at is what's converted. So when we look at sales page conversions here, Zane set his spreadsheet up so it's marking red if it's low, which is smart, we do that. If it's under 1%, it's pretty low. So we can look at Zane's channel now and say Zane is a low views, low traffic, low sales channel. So if we went back to that chart that I showed you, we can then diagnose what to do. So it's people aren't discovering the content, viewers aren't visiting the offer, visitors aren't buying. So what's the solution? Well, we need to spend more time really on the basics, like working out who the viewers are, what they really want, and what they'll pay to solve. So let's do that. So the first thing we look at is what I call positioning. Positioning is how you position yourself on YouTube. Like, it's basically who is the person that I want to help, what is the problem that they really want to solve. So Zane's positioning at the moment is this. Read the banner at the top. So his positioning is, I help you get calls back from Google Maps. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really know what calls back from Google Maps means. I'm assuming it means get me more calls. But it's not like that clear. And when I look at his channel, the channel itself, it's not really appealing to a big enough problem enough. So why your business isn't visible? Your Google profile is invisible because of this one thing. Not showing on Google Maps, here's the real reason. The real reason service businesses don't show up on Google Maps. To me, the titles are weak. They're not calling out a person and a problem enough. And they're consistently letting you down. If we go back and we look at what actually got clicks and views on YouTube for this topic, rank number 1 on Google Maps fast, no matter your location. There's so much more drama in them. Rank so fast, people think you hacked Google. So your channel itself is saying it's about getting calls. Most of the content isn't about getting calls, and you're lacking any kind of... There's nothing creating much curiosity. The titles are kind of dry. They're not as exciting as your competition. So that's your first reason why you're not getting views. You need to think way more about who your buyer is. And you mentioned to me in an email that you think you want to, you niched down a bit. I don't think you should have niched down. You're not in a competitive niche. There's not that many channels doing what you're doing at all. I think there's like 3. All the rest are channels who dip in and out of it. So if it was me, I'd be positioning you as I help businesses grow, ranking number 1 on Google Maps. Because that is the big problem. That is the foundational thing that businesses want. And when I looked at YouTube a minute ago, before this, all the views were in ranking number 1. I didn't find anything on getting calls. I think I found one video. I don't know if your buyers use that language of I want to get calls. I have a feeling they're actually sitting there going, I want to rank number 1 on Google Maps, because they know that means they'll get more business. So your YouTube packaging and your positioning is stopping the right people from clicking through. Now what we need to look at is, why is your sales page converting so low? So let's go and look at the sales page. So the first thing we want to point out here is your calls didn't just slow down. Something changed. Let's find out what. So we're targeting calls slowing down. So you've made your audience even smaller. The biggest audience is I want more calls. Calls slowing down is people who were doing very well, and now it's got even smaller. And that's fine if you want to target that audience, but then your content needs to be all about that. And I think the audience personally for you is smaller than it needs to be. The next thing, I just think you're selling getting calls too much, and also you're selling an audit, not the result of an audit. So let me show you what I mean. A 60-minute audit for business owners who had Google Maps working and then watched it quietly stop. So it's very, very specific, but your channel isn't about that. You're saying why you don't show up on Google Maps. So there's a disconnect, right? You've got a channel with packaging that isn't hooking enough people, and then you've got an offer that niches down to that small audience you've got far too much, and then you're selling an audit, not the results of the audit. So you need to refine your avatar, you need to refine your offer, you need to refine your content strategy. And for me, I would be selling something more like discover how to rank your business #1 on Google Maps in only 60 minutes. Because that's a really specific result. It also means that if people have lost their ranking and want to get it back, they're going to read that and go, great, this guy's going to help me get back on track. It's also going to help you get the larger, wider audience that you can and should be trying to appeal to excited as well. And it's also a result. You're not selling an audit, you're literally selling them a result in 60 minutes. So you do have 3 foundational problems in that I think you've gone too niche, the content isn't even appealing to people in that sort of small space, and then the offer itself, the copy and the offer isn't laid out in a way that is that appealing, and then you've niched down in an already small niche channel. So that's the problem we've got there. Now let's look at Ross. So Ross wrote in to say, we're getting views, but people aren't buying. So he said that they're posting every 2 weeks, and he wants to know, would weekly videos help to generate more sales, or should our existing views be producing more sales? He also seems to think that they might not be generating sales because the content only became good recently, and asks, do we need more time to warm up the audience? And he also says he feels like Ross is too formal on camera. Is this a lacking of human connection stopping viewers from trusting him? Well, I'll just show you Ross's channel. So these guys do videography. They help videographers grow their businesses. Let's just address the weird one to start off with. I watched Ross. I'm not going to play it on here because I've already mucked up the sound too much. But no, Ross is a great presenter. I also don't understand why you think, I wouldn't put that much weight in the success of your sales on feeling like someone's too formal. He came across just natural and normal. So I actually think you're looking in completely the wrong areas here, which is often very common when people don't actually know why they're not generating sales. So write that off completely. Ross is great on camera. Write off the second one, the content only became good recently. Do we simply need more time to warm up the audience? The content was okay before. The content that you're currently producing now is more in line with your offer, but let's go into that now and look more at how we diagnose this. So it's the same process again. We're going to check their views, and we're going to ask, where do they fall in the niche? Do they have a low or high views problem? So 3,000 in 6 days, 18,000 in 3 weeks, 7,000. You do not have a views problem. This is very high views for a niche helping videographers make money. So I would diagnose you with a high views. All right. The next thing is sales page traffic. Are you getting many people from your channel to your sales page? So they sent in their data to me. By the way, if you want to apply to the next one of these, there's a link below. You can just do it. You can apply in the platform that I've built specifically. So if we look at the sales page traffic, row B, we've got hundreds of views. But if we look at his channel, his average video is getting 5, 6, 7,000 views now. It's a very low volume of people actually coming to the channel. So I would diagnose that as low sales page traffic because the percentage of people from the channel to the sales page is low. If it's less than 1% a month, it's very low. And then the sales. How many people are converting? Well, you can see here, he had 2% conversion at the top, which is not the worst for his kind of offer. But most months it's below 1%. So he has a low sales conversion. So if we look at the funnel again, he's got this interesting problem. He has high views, and then he has low traffic, and then he has low sales. So we can see he has viewers, not buyers. How do we fix that? Well, let's look. Well, firstly, he's doing a great job because his videos attract people. The next thing is the videos that he makes, the viewers that he gets, sorry, they don't investigate the offer. So what we have to do is look at how do we make content that drives people to click on the link more. And then also, his other problem, he's got low sales. How do we make your sales page stronger so that more people convert? Now, before we get into that, there's a couple of other things. One of the things that you asked was about posting more often. And you said you only post every 2 weeks. Post every week or post twice a week if you can. And I'm not telling everyone to do that. This is specific to this situation. You are in a position where you need to learn much faster. So if you post weekly, you will, but the more you post right now, the more you're going to be able to measure if the changes that you then do that I'm showing you to do have actually worked. You also have to track sales. So you didn't say that you had RevTrack set up. Zane did, and I went through that data before the live, but you didn't have it set up. You're in a position where we need to see what content generates sales. Because if you see that one video is growing your business a ton, we need to do more of that. It will also show you which videos are driving more clicks to your sales page, which is one of your big problems, right? You've got low clicks to your sales page and low conversions. So it will show you which videos build trust based on how many get clicks and how many get sales, and then you repeat that. Without that, you're missing massive amount of data that's really important. All right, so after that, we're on the sales page. We need to work out how do we increase the conversions of this offer. And the first thing we look at really is the headline. So land monthly paying clients and build a profitable videography business. So it's okay, but it's not really hooking me that much. So what happens is viewers are going to come to this page and go, it sounds like what I want, but I don't think it's going to get them that excited. So I would probably, based on what you said, which was our videos that have amounts in, hundreds of thousands of dollars in, or $10,000 a month, get more views, I would bring numbers into your headlines. Now these are very basic, I wouldn't necessarily use these, but to increase conversion, we need to hook people with an offer that sounds compelling. So I would have something like how videographers are landing $50,000 clients. I came up with that because you have a testimonial from someone who said they landed a $30,000 or $50,000 client, I think it was. How to make 20K a month as a videographer. I came up with that because that's what you did. And you have tons of testimonials on your sales page about this. How to land long-term retainer-based clients and earn 20K a month as a videographer. So your headline itself is okay, it just needs a bit more punch to it. And then on the rest of the page, all you do is sell benefits, sell features, not benefits. So let me show you what I mean. People don't come to a sales page going, how does this work? They come to a sales page going, what's in it for me? So you come down here and you say, look, get answers to your problems live. Well, that's not going to solve my problem. Like, I've only scrolled down. There's one headline, two headline. By the fourth scroll, I'm starting to just get this big list of features, like use our documents and contracts, get live answers to your problems, build alongside other videographers. None of these things excite me as a videographer. I just want to know how to make 20K a month. So what you do is your site itself needs to lead with the benefits a lot more. So this headline here should say something like, master the business side of filmmaking so you can land your first 5K a month retainer. You know, get answers to your problems live. That's not sexy. Get coaching from a videographer who's made over $1 million so you can hit your first 10K month. Like, make sure you're always bringing in benefits here. And then as we keep scrolling down, we've got some great testimonials, like I signed a 30K retainer. These testimonials should be much bigger. So the reason why you're getting low sales is quite simply because your sales page isn't strong enough. And that's where you need to focus. I can't give you a full-on lesson in writing copy today, but you need to focus a lot on your sales page. You need to update it. You need to post more. And I think you're just naturally going to start to see more sales page traffic going from your channel to your sales page. That's going to fix the low traffic thing. I would do more videos about how you helped your clients. So you said that guy used your service and got $30,000 of clients. Tell that story on your channel. It's going to drive way more people to your offer who are warm. They'll trust you a ton and they'll get there at the end. And then I would just look at a way to create more urgency. Your offer itself is a buy now. The problem with buy now is there's no reason to buy now. So you have got this whole, I think you said you have a special offer on right now, but it's not, I don't see it, right? So we've got no urgency, no price increase, no reason to buy and join this thing right now. You're going to be losing sales as a result. All right, so the next guy we're going to look at is Henry. Henry, let's just get his channel up. Helps beginners build job-winning cloud resumes that get them hired. All right, which is pretty niche. Sounds pretty good to me. Henry wrote in to say, email newsletter. He was making all his sales, launching to his newsletter, and that went well. But now his sales have slowed. They're not very consistent. And he's unsure whether to focus on content and YouTube or if he should revamp the offer and the landing page. So let's try and give Henry some clarity by taking him through the exact same process again of checking his views, checking his sales page traffic, checking his conversions. So let's just go to his views first. Right. What have we got? Pretty strong. 7,000 views, 24,000 views, 10,000 views, 16. That's about learning cloud. It's a bit broader. He says he helps beginners build job-winning cloud resumes. So this one, 66,000 views. So yeah, Henry doesn't have a low views problem. Henry hasn't posted much for 5 months. That's more of his problem. And it's going to be why he's not generating as many sales. Just needs to post more content. But you have what I would call strong views. So now we need to look at your sales page traffic. So this offer is new. You've given me 2 months of data. We can see that we get thousands of people a month coming through. And based on his views, I actually think his sales page traffic's okay. I don't know if it's like super high, but it's definitely not low. Thousands of people is a lot. And then we look at his sales. Well, his conversion rate's tiny, less than 1%. Not enough of his traffic is converting into buyers. So looking at his funnel, he has high views, he has strong traffic, he has low sales. So we can see here what the problem might be. Now, this is an interesting one. You might have actually gone too broad and got a lot of views of the wrong people, so that when they did click and go to your offer, which we'll look at in a second, they were the wrong people. Or you might not have done that, but your offer just isn't appealing. It doesn't build trust. It doesn't have enough value in it when people land on it. So what we need to look at here is looking at, are you getting the wrong people? Or do you just need to fix your sales page? So let's have a look. The first way you do this is you look at your channel and offer, and are they aligned? So an alignment simply means, is your channel targeting the same person and the same problem as your offer? Now, you used a heck of a lot of jargon, which on your sales page, I didn't really know what a lot of it meant. So it's not a problem. I'm not your avatar. So what I did was I used a tool that I've put inside StoryOS free, where it looks at your channel and it looks at your sales page, and it will help you figure out, are they aligned? And it actually gave you a pretty good score. If we go down here, you can see it goes a little bit deeper, but it's saying your channel attracts aspiring early cloud engineers. Your offer attracts aspiring cloud engineers. So you're on track there. I don't think you're necessarily attracting too many of the wrong people, which is a very good sign. The next thing we want to look at is the sales page. Why is that, not converting? So let's go have a look at that, shall we? There we go. So build the AWS portfolio that gets you hired. So we've got a channel about build job-winning cloud resumes, and then an offer that's about building an AWS portfolio. So to me, it feels like there's a bit of a disconnect. I can see you're doing some content on that, but maybe this banner here up here needs updating. Anyway, let's just scroll down a little bit. These case studies are not particularly big. Like now I can showcase the project. Is there anything more interesting in there? Really, you want your top testimonial at the top. You want something that is a big result, right? That your perfect avatar is going to want. No. So your testimonials are kind of dull. Every job wants experience. No one will give you it. This is a chance to get it. It's a bit vague. So you've definitely got a copy problem. I think looking at this, I would probably say that your headline's a bit off. You're saying build the AWS experience your resume is missing and learn. Sorry, that was my rewrite, I think. No, what are you saying? You're saying this. Build the AWS portfolio that gets you hired. I think we need to relate it more to interviews, which is what your channel's about, or it's supposed to be about. And you could say build the AWS experience your resume is missing and learn how to turn it into interviews. You definitely need to add more proof that connects to the big result. So your sales page is lacking the fundamentals. So for you, if you're going to level up here, you need to learn how to write copy, how to structure a sales page properly. You definitely need to post more because you're not posting that often at all. And I also looked at your email list size. It was only 1,500 people. I think you should try and increase that as well. But that is your problem. You actually got a great amount of views. It's the back end of your funnel that's kind of letting you down. All right. So I don't know if anyone's in the chat wants to fire some questions through. I got a little bit of time. If you have any questions about converting viewers into buyers, now's your chance to drop them below. The next question that's come in is, how can I get an amazing testimonial if I'm just starting out? That's a very good question. So testimonials are very, very important parts of your conversion process, right? If you don't have many on your sales page, conversions will drop. You also want to put them into your content to raise that trust. So you really need to probably start off by doing something for a testimonial, where you reach out to someone and say, look, I want to do a really good job for you. I want to help you solve this problem, and I'm not going to charge you anything. Can I work with you to help you solve it? And I just want a testimonial. Now, you obviously want to do a good job. You don't just want them given a fake testimonial, but that's how a lot of people start out. They actually offer a service for very low cost or free to try and get testimonials. And we even do it right now. So even at my level, I was trialing an offer and I said, this is significantly discounted. We want to do something with you for 90 days. At the end of 90 days, part of the deal is, you know, if we help, will you give me a testimonial? And they have to agree to one, because I want more testimonials. So that's the best way to do it. Would you review a channel in another language? I can only speak English, I'm afraid. So no, I can't. Would you use a video or written testimonial? Both. So what you want to do is you want to turn a video testimonial into multiple pieces of content. So what I would do is, after you've worked with that person for free, say, look, can we just have a 10-minute call? And then on the call, get asked for some feedback because you want to make your offer better. And then at the end, say, right, can we do the testimonial now? Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Every question can become a standout testimonial that you use in a video or in your social media. The full video can become the thing you put on your site. Little clips from it can go into videos to help. So video is great because you can then turn it into so many other things. How can I assess whether my niche is strong enough to actually get viewers who are in enough pain to buy? Am I in a bad niche? Songwriting. Should we have a look? Robin Stern, let me just jump into your channel. I don't know if I can actually click on it, but in short, let's just show you how we'll research that, shall we? So, so you're in songwriting, okay? So I'm just going to start with the broadest search, songwriting. And let me just zoom in on my screen a little bit more. How to write songs. These guys have 186,000 subscribers. It's already a sign, right, that we've got some volume, that there's people interested in this topic. Now we can look at the views. These guys have got some great titles. This lyric writing trick is 4,000 years old and it's easy. That is a... That's a title that gets a clap. I like that. The songwriting trick no one notices, but Dylan was the master. So in a niche like songwriting, yeah, this thing is set up for big views actually. What's interesting about songwriting is you have, well, I'll break it down for you. So if the songwriting niche is, let me move that over a little bit. if the songwriting niche is this big, you actually have the ability to go wider than the songwriting niche. So if you start making videos about Bob Dylan and how he wrote, it can appeal to more people than are actually interested in songwriting. That's not good for a business, but if you want to add revenue, it's an absolute dream. Then you've got people who want to write songs. Then in the middle of that, you've probably got serious hobbyists who are doing it as their favorite thing in the world. And then you've got the pros who want to make money from it. So it would depend on who you wanted to target. So you want to think about who your avatar would be within that. But no, in short, you've got a great niche for views. In terms of pain, the people in the most pain, in terms of will pay money to solve their problem and get better, are the serious hobbyists and the pros here. You could sell a low-ticket beginner songwriting course to this audience. These guys are going to buy nothing, but you would make a lot of money from ad revenue from them. So I think your niche would be pretty good, if I'm honest. I'm trying to think if we've worked with someone in the songwriting niche. No, a lot of writers, but maybe not songwriters. All right, when to pivot versus when to open a new channel. You don't, it depends on why you want to pivot. So I pivoted because I had grown a channel that was too broad and I wanted to niche down. I could have done it on my old channel and just niche down. I didn't because I just liked all the effort I'd put into my old videos. I didn't want to cover them up. I just thought it'd be a nice little memorial. But if I wasn't so sentimental, I should have just niched down on that channel and the views would have dropped a ton and it would have been messy for a while. But, you know, I didn't need to start a second channel. I just did it for other reasons that maybe don't apply to most people. But for you got to ask, why do you want to start a second channel? You only do it if the audience is very different. So you can do it if the audience is, let's say you have one channel for beginners and one channel for experts. That would be one reason. You'd only do that because you had an offer for beginners and an offer for experts. Or if you had a channel that was two completely different people. But if you've got to the point where you're like, I just want to pivot, and you don't care about your old channel at all, you can do it on that channel. It's just like starting a new channel again anyway. But you have to get pushed to that new audience. How good would you say content needs to be to start getting sales on a channel? That's a really good question. It depends what you mean by good, right? But to me, good isn't a fancy camera or a studio. Good is understanding who your viewers are, what level they are currently at, what they don't know, and what they do know. When you know all of those things, you can make good content, because good content is content that appeals to your perfect buyer, and then they go, wow, this is exactly what I wanted. This person's a genius. So it takes time to understand what people click on, but also what they don't know and what they do know. So when I'm making a video, I'm always thinking, if we use an example, let's say I want to make a video on YouTube funnels. I have to straight away think, will that get clicks? And I know from my experience, the word YouTube and funnel together are probably not going to get many views because funnel is a more advanced word. It's not the sort of word beginners click on, so I'm probably going to slash my audience size with that title. However, the information inside, it could be perfect for anyone. So I have to make a choice. Do I hide that it's about funnels? And maybe I make a video called Copy This System, it will blow up your business. That suddenly appeals to way more people, and then I might have to ask, well, if I'm attracting more people and they're beginners, they might not even understand what the word funnel is. So now I'm going to have to introduce them to what a funnel is. And then I'm going to have to show them the system. What that's going to do is it's going to put off my buyers because they know what a funnel is. They're going to be like, get to the point, I just want the good stuff, right? So good content is really just a game of picking the person you want to help and then working out what they do and don't understand and then continually giving them that. And that takes a while to get good at. And you only really get good at by working with people and asking them what they care about, and also by posting videos and just seeing what happens. If you have a channel that is mainly shorts, but you want to teach your niche in long form videos, would you create a new channel? Keep it on the short channel? Nah. We don't need two separate channels for shorts and long form. Like, you would only do that if the audience is completely different. For a channel that is If it's the same content but long, do that for sure. The only thing is, it's going to feel painful because you're going to be used to getting way more views than you're going to get in long form, but put it on the same channel. What could you do if you had a 6-year-old channel with 370,000 subscribers, but its content and audience came from a completely different niche than your current offer? Let me just ask that again. What could you do if you had a 6-year-old channel, 370,000 subscribers, but its content and audience came from a completely different niche? Okay, so yeah, let's draw this out. So you've got this is your channel's niche, and then this is your offer's niche. So you need a channel to feed this. Because let's say this is your audience here, right? You might only have that amount of your audience that are actually going to become buyers. So I did this recently with someone. We started a second channel for them. So what they did is we harnessed the initial audience. So let's say this is their first channel, similar channel to yours. Let's say it's got 370k subs. A small section of them would be interested in the offer. They also had an email list. So we started a second channel, promoted it via email, making it crystal clear this is very different, very specific, a slightly different audience. We promoted it on the community wall. We made a video on the first channel to push them here, always making it clear this is going to be very different, don't come and watch this. And then we basically just started posting videos to this that drove people to the offer. And they make 30 to 40,000 extra a month now. And the cool thing is, we just established working with them that channel 2 makes significantly more per video. So they're now moving all their resources from channel 1 to channel 2, and we're going to help them get it to 100k a month. So I think that's what I do, is you're going to have something to harness in that initial audience potentially. You just need to come up with a system to get the right people to the channel and then drive them to the offer. But it's not the worst position to be in, unless one of your channels is about cheese and the other one's about BB gun battles in your garden. It's too far removed. If that's the case, you're just starting from day one again. If you have a channel that is mainly shorts, but you want to teach your niche in long form video, I've said that one. Any suggestion on how to content market original fiction stories on YouTube in the sci-fi, horror, fantasy games? No. Nothing that comes to my mind straight away. It's kind of far removed from what I do. I'm sure if I sat and thought about it for long enough, I could. But right now, off the top of my head, there's nothing. Hello, Greg. Thanks for that. I'm a fitness coach. I niche down to skinny, fat men in their 30s and 40s, but perhaps my content is a little too niche to get enough consistent views. No. So if I've worked with so many fitness channels, your niche is massive. Skinny fat is a power word. You see that gets a huge amount of views. You're targeting a very large audience, 30s to 40s. It's not too niche at all. It's more likely that you're not coming up with thumbnails and titles and content that's hooking them enough. But I know that audience, and there's a lot of people, so I don't think I'd give up on that one. Oh, sorry, I just realized you asked here, how good do you need to be, I guess, on camera? If I'm a 10 and someone talking to camera unstructured is a 1. So the talking to camera thing's interesting. What you just need to come across as is not awkward. Because when people are new, often watching them makes the viewer feel a bit icky, and we don't want to create that feeling. So you don't have to be like the world's best presenter, you just have to not come across as awkward. And you can make mistakes, you can be human. A lot of people like that. You can see today I've made loads of mistakes in this live stream, everything wrong for a while. So you don't have to be this polished 10 out of 10. It's more just about coming across as a version of you that is comfortable on camera. How to get more emails from views. I got 90 emails from 65,000 views recently. Just 3 tabs for the links in the video. Yeah, 90 is not a huge amount from 65k, Doug. Well, if a video, the easiest way, it's kind of a bit annoying for viewers, but that's your intro here, that's your end, is doing that just after the first intro, very quickly. By the way, everything I'm going to show you is in a free tab available below, halfway through. By the way, don't forget to get the tab below before the end. By the way, before we end, don't forget to get these tabs below. If you do 3, you'll get more. You don't have to call it out audibly though. You can just show a bit of text on screen here. But the other thing would be, Doug, looking at how much traffic actually went to that page. So sometimes the page they land on can wreck the conversions. You might have had more traffic going to that page, and let's say if only 30% of people signed up, you know, you could have had 180 or 200 signups fixing that problem. How do I apply what you're teaching based on my funnel that has more steps? As there's the free lead magnet in between, lead magnet. It's the same. So today I just gave a very simplified version, but it was basically a buy now funnel I gave you. A buy now funnel is make a YouTube video, drive someone to a sales page, generate a sale. Most people's are way more complex than that. So for you, you might have YouTube. It sounds like you've got a lead magnet funnel, right? So it's just trying to get people to sign a freebie, which is basically getting their email. That then often activates email chain that then sells to people, right? And you might have 5 or 10 or a load of different emails in here. So what you do is the same. You get the spreadsheet and you look at your monthly views, you look at how much traffic went to your free sign up, and then how much converted. You then look at open rates. How many people opened? How many people clicked? So it's the same process just at every single step of the funnel. And then at the end of the month, you look and go, traffic was good, freebie signups were good, no one's opening our emails. Right, let's fix the headlines. So my spreadsheet for my business, when it was a bit more complex, I had all these touch points here I was tracking. And at the end of the month, I go, oh, less people turned up to the calls this month, that's the problem to fix. So the cool thing about online business is we can track everything. It really is just a game of knowing the numbers of each step of your funnel. If you do that, you basically know exactly what the problem is, and then you just level up, you learn the skills to improve it. It's not very hard, right? Just to go on ChatGPT and say my sales page traffic's down this month. My sales page conversions are down this month. Can you have a look? It will probably start to give you some advice that might help. You mentioned in one of your videos you don't need to do a call to action to your offer. Would you say it's still true? Or do you recommend doing a soft? So you don't need to do a call to action at all. Let me show you. So I did a video recently that stank for views. I'll just get it up on screen and I can walk you through this. So, this one. So this video here, it got 5,000 views and it made nearly $8,000. There is no call to action in it at all. I don't think I even talk about my offer. I might talk about how I've helped a client. What I did was I just coached a viewer through a problem. And this video is about how to optimize a sales page. So Henry, I just saw your question. Check that out. It's one thing that might help. And it inspired people to buy my thing. So you really don't have to pitch. However, you can. It's just, I don't know. It depends how you do it. Like if someone writes a really good intro and gets me excited, I'm like, this content sounds so good, I can't wait to hear it. And then they go, okay, let me tell you my thing. It just wrecks all of that hype and curiosity. And it kind of makes me go, I don't want to watch this. So for me, I've just always casually mentioned my product. I literally just did it then. I got a RevTrack, my software, and went, look at this. It's tracking my views. Right? So I'm not intentionally trying to sell you that via that. But I just naturally give examples that show off my product. and how I help people, or things I'm doing myself, and then that can help to generate sales. So just drop in how you've helped people, tell your clients stories, give examples, and make sure there's a link visible, and you tend to grow a business. But having said that, we do have clients who just pitch, and they get a lot of clicks when they pitch. So it's something you want to try it yourself, but I've just never really felt the need to go that heavy on it. So we shouldn't script in pitches. You can, but if I'm trying to get views, I'm not going to pitch, because if I'm trying to grow my channel, I'm trying to appeal to new people, and you don't want to pitch to new people. It'll feel icky to them. You know, you pitch to the return viewers who are like, oh, I like this guy, I trust him, he's already given me a ton of free value. People who have seen you and already trust you will actually like it when you pitch, because they're like, I didn't know you had an offer, I can't wait to work with you. But the new ones don't like it. So if I'm optimizing a video for views, I wouldn't pitch ever. If I'm optimizing it for sales, then maybe I would. But it's no right or wrong. You just think about, what's the goal of this video? What do I want it to achieve? And the video can still get a ton of views if you pitch in it, but I don't know. It's just, it's not a right or wrong. It's just something you got to try. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to try and do one of these a week. I'm just going to try different things, different formats. I'll be teaching a video on my strategy and the cool kind of stuff you can do with lives coming up in a few weeks, I think, too. So you'll have